Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 celebrities who went from rich to broke. Believe it or not, celebrities do go broke from time to time. They make bad investments, squander their fortunes on things that wouldn't make sense to many people, and sometimes try to live well beyond their means. Just because they're in Hollywood doesn't mean they're always rolling around living the good life. Some of the most famous people you've ever seen have been absolutely broke at one time or another. Some of these names might be surprising, while others might be common knowledge. Keep in mind, they made some rather poor choices to get to this point, despite the level of fame they've achieved. There are a lot of celebrities that went broke in their day, but these are just some of the most notable. Number 10, Burt Reynolds. Reynolds has had one long and storied career ever since he played running back at Florida State and on through the 1970s when he was really popular. Since that time, he's racked up so much debt that he eventually started selling off his movie memorabilia to break even. He'll deny much of it, but the truth seems to be that he's taken some of the worst roles in his career not long after it was determined that he was flat broke and needed the money. Number 9, Larry King. As of now, King isn't doing too bad, but in the late 1970s, he was paying through the nose to a long list of creditors. Even when he was given his own talk show, the money didn't last considering how many times he was married and then divorced. Alimony payments took a hefty toll from his wallet for many years and left him almost penniless. As of now, he's doing a lot better, but for a while, he was as close to being down and out as it comes. Before he became one of cable TV's most recognizable talking heads, Larry King's journalism career was almost completely derailed by criminal charges and subsequent financial troubles. In 1978, the newsman filed for bankruptcy after he found himself more than $300,000 in debt. Showbiz cheat sheet. It was the accumulation of a rough few years for King, which began when a former business partner accused him of grand larceny. The charges were dropped, but his professional reputation was in tatters. He didn't work in journalism at all for a time, but eventually he found his way back to broadcasting in 1978. The Larry King Show was first broadcast on Miami radio station WIOD, and the rest is history. Number 8, Wayne Newton. You would think a guy whose name is synonymous with Las Vegas wouldn't have money issues. However, he had around $20 million in debt at one time, a side effect of his extravagant lifestyle. He had to keep performing just to pay the debt and to afford his plastic surgery bills. It's kind of hard to tell one of Las Vegas' star performers that all that plastic surgery in the world isn't going to keep age and gravity at bay for long. Number 7, Meatloaf. Michael Lee Aday, born Marvin Lee Aday, September 27, 1947, better known as Meatloaf, is an American singer and actor. He is noted for his powerful, wide-ranging voice and theatrical live shows. His Bat Out of Hell trilogy, Bat Out of Hell, Bat Out of Hell 2, and Bat Out of Hell 3. The Monster is Loose has sold more than 50 million albums worldwide. More than 4 decades after its release, the first album still sells an estimated 200,000 copies annually and stayed on the charts for over 9 years, making it one of the best-selling albums in history. Give credit where credit is due, at least. This was Meatloaf's problem when it came to giving the proper credit to the guy that helped him out with I Would Do Anything for Love. The co-writer sued Meatloaf and nearly bankrupted him in the 1980s. From that point on, the singer wrote all of his own material and has since made an impressive comeback. One thing he won't do, thankfully, is sell out. Number 6, Toni Braxton. Despite her awesome voice and decent run of success, it seems like Braxton really overestimated her own fame. She continued to spend even when the royalties on her song started to trickle in and then finally dry up. This led to 2 bankruptcies in less than 5 years, and there might be a third on the way. Rumor has it she was still allowed to purchase a $3 million home, while she was still $50 million in debt. Yeah, it might be reasonable to assume that she'll be looking at bankruptcy number 3 fairly soon, if she hasn't already. Number 5, Sinbad. Comedian David Atkins, better known as Sinbad, filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy protection. He filed for bankruptcy protection previously in 2009. The 56-year-old funny man jokingly claims to be broke, but documents related to his filing claim he makes $16,000 per month. This may not seem like typical pocket change, but the comedian reportedly owes millions to creditors, including tax debt. According to court documents, Sinbad owes roughly $11 million to various creditors. Most of the debt is owed on back taxes to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, for years. from 2009 to 2012 in the amount of nearly $8 million. Other creditors owed include American Express at close to $375,000 and Bank of America for roughly $32,000. Documents estimate his monthly income at $16,000, yet Sinbad claims he is unable to pay his bills. Sinbad reportedly has a number of valuable possessions. He has a few vehicles, including a 2010 Ford 150 and 2010 Lincoln Navigator, a 2007 BMW 750i, and a 2006 VW Beetle. He has copies of his book, which is available on Amazon, and home office equipment valued at $5,000. He didn't really do much after Necessary Roughness that was worth talking about. He starred in a few less than stellar movies and didn't do much in the way of his TV success, but he was still a noted comic that people liked. When it was revealed that he owed the IRS $8 million, however, he had to give up his home and declare bankruptcy to get himself out of the hole he'd unwittingly dug. Number 4. Mickey Rooney. Rooney actually filed for bankruptcy in the early 1960s and spent a good deal of his career after that trying to come back from it. At one point, his net worth was $12 million, but when he filed, he had only about $500 to his name. It would appear that the former child star didn't invest his money too wisely and decided to have more fun than he could afford in his youth. By the time of his passing, he thankfully climbed out of that hole. Number 3. Pamela Anderson. The Baywatch babe may have saved many a swimmer in her TV days, but she has not been able to save her home from her money woes. Anderson's money troubles includes a $260,000 tax debt to the IRS, and she owed more than $112,000 to the state of California. This came on the heels of a $1.7 million tax lien from the federal government in 2010. Early in 2013, she was forced to sell her Malibu home that she had invested millions in renovating over the years to address her debt circumstances. Anderson told The Hollywood Reporter, "I'm in over my head a lot. I take a lot of risks. I live beyond my means. This shows that money problems are universal and that anyone can get in too deep." After the fame she had on Baywatch and all the cameos she'd had in her long career, you would have thought Pamela would have been set for life. From the plastic surgeries to the nice home to the partying and living the good life, Pamela Anderson was having the time of her life until she was noticed by the IRS. Failure to pay her taxes had this former lifeguard drowning in debt for a while before she finally found a way to climb back out. Number 2. Gary Busey. How many actors do you know that get to act crazy for a living to pay the bills? Yeah, there might be a few, but none that are really on the same level as Gary Busey. After a car accident that left him seriously injured and revealed the cancer diagnosis when he was in the hospital, Busey's medical bills were racked up to well over $1 million. Since then, he's been acting crazy and out of control on screen. As much as people love a lot of them, don't seem to realize that a lot of this isn't acting. It's just him being nuts, trying to pay his bills. Number 1. Courtney Love. Courtney Love is worth an estimated $150 million, thanks in part to the ownership stake in Nirvana that she inherited when husband Kurt Cobain died. After Cobain committed suicide in 1994, Love inherited his writing and publishing rights, which were valued at $130 and $115 million, respectively. In 2006, Love finally and officially sold 25% of her share of Nirvana's publishing rights. But in a new interview with the UK's Sunday Times, the 50-year-old rocker reveals, "I lost about $27 million of Nirvana money. I know that's a lifetime of money to most people, but I'm a big girl," Love explained. "It's rock and roll. It's Nirvana money. I had to let it go. I make enough to live on. I'm financially solvent. I focus on what I make now." Being connected to Kurt Cobain, who was considered a god among musicians, and having her own band didn't seem to last as long when it came to the money that both produced. A serious drug problem and way too much overspending led the singer to massive financial issues that forced her to sell the rights to the Nirvana songs she'd gained a stake in, as well as her house. Considering the conspiracy theories surrounding Cobain's death, though, not a lot of people feel too sorry for her. What do you think of our list? Which of the following top 10 celebrities that went richest to rags shocked you the most? Do let us know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again. Be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.